And we are live. Welcome, everybody. Just take a minute if you like to write on the chat if you can hear me just right. So I know everyone can hear me. So I recently was about to create a summer by the pool 3D project. But I was searching for a sunbed and I couldn't find any good 3D model. So I thought, why not create one? So I went for a search and I found that on Cave Home they got some great designs, and I found this one which I particularly liked. So this is what we will be modeling today. This is our project for today, for this webinar. It has some nice details, as you can see. We will take care of all of that. It's a great model. We will be creating all of these details. This will take about an hour or so, about an hour. So let's start. Now, on the description of this video, on the webinar, you can find the lesson files and you can download them so you can follow through. So, of course, the first thing we want to do is to go to our files and create some reference. So I will go to customize, unit setup. I will make sure we are on centimeters. If you work with inches, work with inches. That's all right. And I will go on the front view, maximize the viewport, create the plane, drop this plane. Let's make it default shading and turn on the edges. And I will set this on the center right here, and I will remove all the extra edges. Then I will take this and this left side and I will drop this right here. As you can see right there, this needs to be on the right proportions, which is not. So I will apply a UVW map. I will go on the bitmap fit right here, and I will find my reference and I will apply this right here on the plane. Let's reduce the width so I can only see this once. And now let's make sure we are on the right scale. So I will take once again a plane. I will measure this. This is supposed to be 200 centimeters, which is not. Press Alt and X to make this transparent. And I will select my reference. And right here on the hierarchy, I will affect the pivot and I will place it right here on the end, about here. I will place this right here on the corner of my plane, which I just set to be 200, the right dimension. And I will scale this up right there. All right. Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you that after this 3D modeling session, we will be doing a scene breakdown of this, both in 3D and as animation. So yeah, it has some interesting points today to discuss. So we are right here, and we also want to set a few more references. So I'll go right here on the perspective, maybe get this back a little bit. And I will rotate this at 90 degrees right here, copy, draw this right there. And of course we can just go on our reference once again and drag and drop the back right here. Here we go. And here we got another point of reference. These two are good for now. We got one more, and I think we will need to use it, but we will see. And it's time to start the actual modeling. So I will go on the front viewport, and the best way to start modeling something is to find a good point to start. And the best point here, I think, are the legs, because they split the object in a nice way. So of course you can just take a cylinder, but go on the top view and create one so it's on the right side. And I will take this, press Alt and X to make it transparent. And let's reduce its height and its radius about here. And height segments, we don't need that many, maybe we need these two. All right, I will place this right here. I think 18 is fine. And before I just grab this and start copying it around, what I want to do is to first create the geometry like I want it to be, so I don't have to redo the whole process in everything. That's how we will be working in this whole thing, to make things faster. So I will go right here, and I will apply an edit poly, of course. I will select this part up here and this part down there, and holding down Control, I will select the edge, and this will turn into edge selection. I will chamfer these edges just a bit, not too much, maybe 0.3. Click yes, and let's fix this geometry. And by fixing, I mean to fix the n-gun we just created. Select also the down part right here, hit Control and Vertex, and hit Weld right here. Great, and now let's copy it. 1, 2 copies. Let's just do this manually. All right, and now I will attach all of these together. And I will take this line we kept before, and I will push it down just a bit right there. And the reason I did that is because now I can actually go on this part, select this 4, go to this one, select this 4 also, and I can create a copy of this. But if you have an older or a newer version of 3ds Max, just to make sure it works the same in everyone, I will just hit on detach right here on the settings and select detach as clone. And we got these two, as you can see, and we can just select their borders and hit bridge. Of course, we need to flip it just like that. And let's do the same thing right here. We need 4 and 4 here. Let's detach them right here as a clown, and select their borders and hit bridge. Now this is a beginner, I wouldn't say intermediate, yeah, it's a beginner lesson. It's pretty simple model to create. So yeah, I think everyone can watch it and follow through, which is why I'm doing this in the first place. And maybe we need to divide this by 10. This will help us later on the unwrapping. Connect. Let's set this to 10 and click yes. Now, of course, let's attach these two together and let's apply a chamfer. We can apply the same chamfer we did on this, but we did not use a modifier. So let's go on this part, apply chamfer, reduce the amount, something like that. Go for 3. And right here, select smooth chamfers only. And this first part is ready. Now let's go for the back right here. So we need to go on the left view. Turn this to default shading. First, let's make sure this is on the right proportions. So let's apply bitmap. All right. And let's bring it on the right place. Yeah, as you can see here, we have a difference, but this is not a big of a deal because if we just change the length a bit, we will be okay. And now we can do the same thing on this part, but the only difference is that right here, as you can see, there's an extra piece of wood, and we can just apply this right here, and we will create the following thing. So we need 4, as we did before, right here, and we will detach it. And we also need think this part. Yeah, I think we need this one too. All right, and I will hit detach once again, and I will select everything and then deselect it to keep only this selection. Let's center our pivot, and I will take this and just hold down shift to create some extra geometry. We won't go all the way through to create this because we will be using a mirror modifier later, but I will flip it and I will copy the chamfer from this and I will apply it on it. All right, and now let's select this one. I will do the same thing, flip it, paste your chamfer. All right, now this looks kind of weird from the inside, but that's all right. We won't be able to see the inside in any case, so it doesn't matter a lot. But this on the outside looks just fine. And we need to do the same thing on this part down here. Oh, if you don't like what's happening here, you can just select your plane and turn on the back face cull, and it won't be visible from that side, but it will be visible on this side. Now I will select this one, and I think that we need 4. No, on 4 we have some weird angles, so I will go for 3 for this one, and I will detach it. Once again, we don't have to create the whole thing because we will be using a mirror modifier. And just paste your chamfer. And the left side is kind of ready. But we need to go on the top viewport. And we will rotate this at 90 degrees. And I will bring this right there. And I will just drop this right here. And this is the top reference. Now, of course, we need to scale it to be on the right place. This is supposed to be somewhere here, I suppose. And let's try and match it. Yeah, I think we made it too big. let's place it right there so we can take this joint as a reference. I think somewhere around here. All right, and now we got to create this border right here. So to do this, of course, the easiest way to do this is to just create a plane. And I will take this plane and I will slide it slightly up. Maybe here. Maybe here it's all right. And I will apply an edit poly, of course, and right first, let's see, all right. And I will connect these two on the center and I will delete the other half. I will take a swift loop once again. If you can't see this bar, it's because you need to click on this part while you're on the edit poly. Let's draw these lines. Here we are fine, and I will delete this part right here. And then we will apply a cell modifier. And the cell modifier is supposed to give some depth to our geometry, some thickness. And let's see how much of a thickness. Around here. And here, as you can see, we have some problems. It doesn't match perfectly, so let's just eyeball it a bit, something like that. Now on the top view it would be a bit different, but don't worry, it's because these are renders and they have some differences in their proportions. But I will bring this right there, and what I will do next is that we need to create these chamfers right here to create some how can I call it, these corners. So I will apply an edit poly once again. We'll select this, and I will also select this one, and I will chamfer. I will of course go on the top view so I can see how it looks like. Here. All right, smooth chamfers only. And of course we need to fix this geometry like we did with these cylinders. But to fix this, let's see how we can do it. First of all, I want to get rid of this. I don't like it. And if you go down here, you can find an option called slice plane. So I will take this slice plane and I will rotate it at 90 degrees. On the top view, you can see better if it's actually on the 90 degrees. I will turn on the snap right here and I will snap it right there. And I will click slice. And what this did is that it connected these two lines together. And now what we will do is that we are going to take this cut tool right here, and I will connect everything. Now, write if you want in the chat if this looks easy for you, or if you have any experience, or if you find it easy to follow through, or you want me to slow down, so I can know how this all looks to you. Also, I will use the cut tool on the other side. Just connect this. I do this because these are called n-gons and we don't want them to be in our geometry. It also makes our unwrapping a bit of a mess. So this is why we need to take care of that. And also, as you can see, up here we are fine, but down here we are not. And that's why we will be using a symmetry modifier and don't just redo the whole thing again, right? That would be dumb. Take the mirror and bring it just above these legs, right here. The threshold, make sure it's on its minimum amount and right click on it and hit collapse all. I will double click on that and hit Ctrl and backspace to remove it because I don't need this line. And what I will do now is that I will take once again this slice plane, rotate it at 90 degrees, and I will bring it close to this part. Because if you take a look right here, there's a small shadow gap and we need to create this. So I will bring this close, I will click slice, and I will then just select this, hit shift to loop the selection, do the same thing on this part down here, and I will hit extrude. Make sure the extrusion is on local normal, and I will extrude to the inside just a bit, maybe something like that. Let's make it minus 0.2 just to be specific. And then what we would like to do right here is that if you go on the top view, you can see here that right here we got something like a handle or something like that. It's not a handle exactly, but yeah, let's see how we can make this. Now we'll take this and bring it around here, and I think the best way to make this is to just create some extra vertices right here, select them, bring them right there, and then go right here and manually chamfer just a bit these corners, not much. Let's make it 0.6. All right, now this is not perfect topology in any case, but it's a quick way to fix this. And of course we got to do the chamfering right here, but the chamfering we need to get right there, and the chamfering we need to have on this part is entirely different. So what we will do is that we are going to select this part and this part also. I think on the inside we don't need to chamfer them that much, so we are fine. And we are going to chamfer this as chamfer it like that. Let's go on the front view to see if we are fine or if we need a little bit more. I think here we are okay. And then I will just, oops, right here we got some problems. Maybe we can, let's chamfer it once again. Yeah, if we go for 0.7, I think that's better. And now let's chamfer this part. Select it and also select this one. And let's create a chamfer and let's see what's our results. That's a little bit, not too much. Here we are fine. All right, and now we can start by creating a symmetry modifier for this. Let's go for symmetry, flip, go on the top view. I think it's on the right place. Let's reduce the threshold and collapse everything together. Right there. All right, and of course we need to do the same thing for this part. So what we will do is that I'm going to collapse everything. And actually, before we go for this, if you go on the reference photos right there, you can see that we have some interesting detail right here. You can see it right there. So we need to create this first. And this goes inside a socket, I think you can call it, whatever. So I will just take this one and I will of course open the reference once again just to see where it's supposed to land. It's supposed to land a little bit further than this piece of wood. So let's end isolation, take a look. So yeah, it's supposed to land somewhere around here, and this is what we will be making. So I will isolate this, but I will isolate this together with this part. No, let's just isolate them alone. So right here we got the chamfer, but let's go here and I will double click on that. And I will click on the make planar on the x-axis to make this go like that. I think we are supposed to put this somewhere near this. Let's remove this and let's also remove this. And now we are supposed to create this socket. Now I will select these two and I will bridge them together. And then I will delete this part right here. And we created this socket. But now we need to create this detail. And that's the reason I have included this part as a detail. So we have a reference. So I will go on the front view. Right here, it's where we created our socket. And I will create a plane. And I will drop this inside here. Of course, we need to apply a UVW map and a bitmap fit to make sure we are on the right proportions. And let's just bring this on the behind and make this transparent to see how it's supposed to be. Right there. And scale it until it reaches the upper part. Maybe here. So now just take this and bring it closer right there. And now let's model this. Now you might think that this is kind of hard to model, but actually it's pretty simple. So let me just show you. I will take a plane right there, create this, and press Alt and X to make it transparent. And I will just add a lot of segments. Oops. And yeah, I will add a lot of segments. And the reason I did that is because now I can just apply an edit poly right there. And what I will do is that I will take these extra vertices we have, and I will use them to create my geometry. And after that, just by using a turbo smooth modifier, everything will be ready. So it's pretty simple, really. Something like that. Now let's just bring this here and bring this closer to this. All right. And here we go. Here. Go on this part right there. Now this might be a bit boring, but it's the fastest way to do this, really. Maybe, yeah, maybe I should take this part and here and maybe here. We will see. We can fix it later if something doesn't work as we expected. And yeah, position a few things right there. And we are almost done. There. Here we go. We are almost there. One more. Let's bring this here instead to avoid these artifacts you just saw. And yeah, we are almost complete. What we need to do is to select. Actually, let's just select everything and deselect what we don't need to delete. It's faster. We deselect with Alt. And hit delete. And right now we will apply a turbo smooth and see what needs fixing. All right. As you can see right here, we got some sharp corners, which we obviously need to fix. And to fix them, let's see what we can do. So I can just grab this part and bring it like that. And what we can do is that we can take this tool and see how it looks. Yeah, maybe instead of this one, actually we can just delete this one. or not. Um, yeah, let's delete this. Come on, let's take a cut tool and connect these two together. Yeah, I just want to keep this like it is. Let's see anything else that we need to make better. Just connect these corners and they will smooth out. Yeah, this it's too dense, so let's fix this also. Let's go for this corner. Yeah, for this corner we can do, maybe we can try maybe this and connect this to also. All right, connect this too. Here we go. Now the geometry would be a bit better if we have handled this corner differently in terms of vertices, but this works also, so no worries. All right, I think everything is smooth except from this part. So let's see how we can make this smoother. Better. And if I apply a double turbo smooth, this will be much smoother. Now right here, once again, this is not the ideal topology. Actually, it's kind of weird. So I will try and fix it later. And what we also need here is that we need to create these slots for our screws, I guess they are called. Yeah. So let's position one vertex on top of this. All right. Right there and right there. All right. And now select these vertices and hit chamfer, but go to 0 and reduce it and bring them to be around this size. Hit OK. You can just delete this part. Now on this one we are not on where we want to be, so let's handle them differently. Actually, let's just make this a little bit bigger. We also got one extra vertex right here, which we forgot about. Write on the chat if you can just hear me and see me just right. because I'm not sure if you can, because I just got a message that you can't hear me or see me. Not sure. I guess you can see me just right. Theodore asked why you didn't take the shape boolean plus retopology route for a case like this. Wouldn't it be more precise and easier to handle? Yeah, it's true. It probably would be better. But every obstacle is for good because this is also a way to do this. So if anyone doesn't know how to create a lot of vertices and use the turbo smooth to create smooth shapes, that's also a way to do this. But yeah, retopology would work just fine. Thank you, Theodore, for your question. It would actually be a better way to do this. You're right. We will maybe show this later if we have some time. Sure, why not? So let's create the chamfer once again. Theodore says that you can hear me just right, which is great. I created this and I will select this part right there. And I will select Geopoly to make them look better. Hit delete, apply a turbo smooth, and maybe apply an edit poly once again. Take this. This looks like a circle. But you can actually put a spherify if this doesn't look perfect, just like that. But it's good enough, to be honest. So yeah, I will just apply a cell modifier on this. Not that much, of course. Right here, you can see we have an artifact. So let's see what's the problem. Yeah, the problem is that these are too close to each other. So maybe you can just hit Control and Backspace to delete this extra vertice, and instead you can take this and target it on this part. Let's see. Yeah, looks nice. And we are on the cell, and we can apply a small chamfer. I said small. Now let's increase the chamfering just a bit. You don't need this to be big. Now right here you can see that we have some extra chamfering right inside of this, so you can just go on this angle and find the perfect amount. Maybe this is alright. Yeah, I think it's great. Let's end the isolation. We don't need this anymore. And let's position this right on here. Right there. Now let's make it matte with our geometry right there. So I will just select these two and I will bring them closer right here and right there. Now on this part right here, you can see that if we apply a chamfer, it chamfers everything instead of this one, except from this one, sorry. So maybe if we fix the minimum angle, this will be fixed. No, it won't be fixed. So we have to do this manually. Let's go on the edit poly. Chamfer it. Maybe we don't see a chamfer because we have double faces or something like that. Let's isolate this and take a look why this is happening. Or maybe double vertices. What if I just go right here and apply an edit poly on top of that? Just to create an extra chamfer. Now on the first model I did on this, I just left it on like that because it's the chamfer we need is like really small. So for example, I would do something like, actually I can't even do it and I don't know why. So let's leave it for now so we don't waste anyone's time, and we will check this later. But as you can see right here, we are almost on the same spot exactly. So we don't really need a chamfer, but if we want to be 100% great, we need a chamfer. So we will check this later. And also, if you go right here on the details, you can see we have a piece of wood right there. So what you can do is that you can just take this. Actually, this is a great way to show what Theodore meant. So I will isolate this and I will just go right here on the edit poly and I will, come on. So let's take, for example, a plane, right? Let's remove from this plane all the edges, just like that. And for this plane, let's just take a line and track these parts right here. For example, let's go for this and this, just like that. And we will fillet all of these parts. But if you want it to look the best way, you need to just copy it because you want to look the same. I just want to show you what Theodore meant and what's another way to do this. Actually, it's actually maybe the best way right now. But if you have learned to model without the retopology, you actually forgot about this useful tool. And I will select most of them except from these parts and I will fillet them. Just like that. And let's say that we fillet these a bit. This is just an example, we won't be using this. And we do an edit poly and we extrude this, or we apply a cell modifier on this, right? And we just go right here and we use let's use the pro boolean option, subtraction, start picking, and we select this, but with no extra geometry. Where is it? Intersection. Let's go for imprint. Start picking right there, and we apply an edit poly. delete this, and then you can just go and apply a topology, set this to maybe 5000, hit compute, and you will have a similar result. So that was it. And right there, we should take care of this later. But now we can just bring this right here, and on using this cell, we can match it just like that. And that was our detail. Now, yeah, Theodore says that retopology doesn't always work perfectly. That's true. And if you assist it with some subdivide modifier, it will be better. That's true. And now let's go to create the back right here. So to create the back, we'll go on this part right here, and I will actually take a box, I think, and bring it right here, and I will rotate this. Turn off this rotation constraint. Like this right there, and maybe just rotate it a bit more right here. Applying it poly, and here on the top I will select this right here, and I will change my pivot to local just to drag this on the spot I need this to be. And I will do the same thing with its thickness around here, maybe a bit more there. And I will go on the left view right there, and I will bring this here, but let's readjust this. Now, setting up a correct reference is one of the most important things to do because it can cause you some trouble later. For example, right here, I don't think we are actually on the perfect scale. Yeah, we are more, but it's all right. Yeah, let's set this to, and let's scale this correctly. Oops, wrong pivot. Yeah, here we are better. We still have some inaccuracies, but we will take care of them. Let's get this a little bit down. We will go all the way here. Actually, I think the problem is this part because we scaled this in regards with this part. So that might be the problem. But we will find a solution for this. So right here on the left view, we will go for what we see right here, just to be sure we will make it work right. So let's forget everything else for now. And we will connect it. Now, sometimes these types of things can happen, right? But it doesn't mean that your project is ruined, that you need to restart the whole project again. But you surely need to work it out and find where you did, where you messed it up. So don't worry about these kind of things. Just make sure to have the proportions right, and everything will work out fine. Now let's just select these and hit chamfer. All right. I will of course select these parts and I will bridge them with the other side, just like that. And if you take a look right here, this is separate geometry than the rest. Its piece is separate geometry. So that we are going to do. Meaning that we are going to select this and we are going to detach them, but not as clown, as element. Yeah, let's detach them as element. We will detach them, and of course we need to close the borders right here. So cap it, and let's do the same thing with this part. Detach them as element. Select everything and I think, oh yeah, accidentally we selected these two. So let's delete this, and now let's select this part and detach them as a separate object. Go on play mode, isolate them, and hit bridge, and cap them, and isolate. Now, do we have a border right here? Let's see. Yeah, we don't. So let's select everything and hit cap and isolate. Now we can also attach them together and just apply a chamfer once again, but not too much, just to help our shadow gaps. Just like that. And we are fine on this part. We also need to create this piece of wood where our pillows are supposed to lay. So let's go on the top view, and you can just take a box. You can do that. And I will take this part. Bring it right here, about here. Here we go. And you can, of course, and you should, of course, apply a chamfer. Here we are. Great. And now it is time to create this detail right here, which is this a small thing that keeps our the back of our sunbed connected with the mechanism. So to do that, I will go on the front view right here, and it's supposed to connect right here. So I will take just a box. I will go on the perspective mode, maybe also on play. Actually, a better way to do this is to just go right here, and on the edit poly, you can once again say take the slice plane, then this to 90 degrees. Click slice and slice once again. And you can just detach this as a clone right there. And of course, then we will apply a cell modifier on this. Here we go. Maybe a bit bigger, just like that. And let's ring this and hit chamfer. Click yes, and you can chamfer now with the modifier. Reduce the amount right there. Add some extra edges. Smooth chamfers only. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Edit poly. Of course, you know that we need to fix our geometry. Right there. Now this is the boring part, but it gives you some time to think about what you need to do next with your model, and a chance to relax if you are on a tight deadline, because you need to do this either way. So yeah, and we are here, and of course let's just use a symmetry modifier because we need to have the same result on both sides. So let's just bring them closer right here, take the threshold, this point, collapse all, yeah, and I actually don't need this line. Will I master everything in 3ds Max if I buy a Mesh Mastery course? It depends on what course you will buy. Currently we have two courses. The one is the 3D modeling, which we do more advanced stuff like the one we do here. I mean, we work on more complex models. And the other one we have currently is the interior visualization course, which will help you master the interior visualization, plus AI, and we have a AI workflow in this. Yeah, if you go for the 3D modeling course, this will help you master 3D modeling. I'm sure you will learn a lot. And if you go for interior visualization with no experience, I'm also sure that you will learn much more. So I hope I answered this question of yours. Now let's go to create this cylinder right here. Theodore says that during these boring parts one can get back to actually listening to the music playing in the background while working. I truly enjoy these moments. Yes, me too. Actually, this is actually great. It's like a hobby sometimes rather than work. Yeah, let's now take the cylinder on the front view right here. And I will create this cylinder. I think that much is alright. Let's take it on the perspective. Yeah, it's too big. Let's reduce it. Maybe 0.55. 0.55. Let's attach this right here. Not exactly, but almost. And I will actually rotate this a bit so I know that this flat surface touches my geometry. Right here. And I will position this somewhere here and I will increase the height. I don't need any height segments, so let's remove them. I will go for edit poly and I will inset these parts, not too much, just enough, and I will bridge them. Now you can of course apply a chamfer modifier. We apply a chamfer modifier pretty much in everything. Like that. And let's take another look on our reference. This is important. Right here, as you can see, we have a cylinder of a bigger radius and this of a smaller. So let's start with smaller. I think it's best. We will see. So I will select just actually I won't select just one line. I will take this and I will create a shape, linear shape, and I will grab this. Let's center the pivot. Oops. And I will grab this, bring it right here, apply an edit poly, and I will just extrude it a bit, just a bit, right here. Now you can inset this, and if you take a look right here, this needs to be extruded to the inside once again. All right. Apply a chamfer. Edit poly, and inset this. And weld them together. Here we go. This first part is ready. And now let's also create the other one, which, like we said, we need to select this part. I just clicked on this and press Shift to loop the selection. And I will detach this as a clone once again. And I will sell this about here, maybe a bit more here. Let's take the chamfer from this and paste. All right. And now what we need to create is this part which connects the back of our Sunbed um, this with this mechanism on this part. Sabham, I'm not sure I'm reading your name correctly. Uh, if I'm not, I'm sorry. I have learned 3D modeling, but in Maya, what should I do? It depends of what you need to, what you want to create, what your job, what's your goal job-wise. I mean, if you want to work inside the ArcViz industry, the architecture visualization industry, 3ds Max is much better, to be honest. Now, if you want to work in games or stuff like that, Maya is great. Unreal Engine also is great for this job. It depends of what are your goals, and I don't know your goals. So yeah, we are right here. Maybe we need to scale this to be bigger just a bit. I have this thought. So I will group this and I will just scale this to be this big, because I think this was way too small before. And yeah, now let's see what we can do to create the other part. Now I will go on the top view, and as you can see right here, this is supposed to connect right there. So I will go on the top view and I will take a line. I will turn on the wireframe override. I will take this line, maybe on this part, and I will create this straight line. And I will position this maybe on this part. And I will turn on the enable in viewport option. But right now, these are too many faces. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I need this to be smaller, maybe 0.75. I think that's a great. Yeah, I will reduce these faces to down to, let's see, for down to 4. I think 4 is the best. And I will also apply a turbo smooth so I can take a look how it looks right there. So I will, because we will be using a turbo smooth. That's why. Yeah, let's go for 2 on this turbo smooth. Right there. All right. Now, of course, this looks like trash, but if we actually create some extra geometry to this, for example, if we put a swift loop right there and a swift loop right there, I put one here because if you take a look on that, you can see that there's a rubber part right here, and we will create this. And if I go on the top view and on the wireframe mode, you will see that we need to have one extra part here, actually a little bit further here, which we will chamfer. Make sure to keep it to look like a square, like the rest of it. So eyeball it a bit, somewhere around here, and I will select this part and I will extrude this. All right. Now let's make sure these are on the same line about here. And as you can see right here, because we have a turbo smooth, everything looks like trash. So to fix this, just go right here near this and put some extra edges. And it looks great. And up here, what you need to do is that you need to take this part and extrude it once again. And it's supposed to go through this cylinder. If it's not, we will make the cylinder bigger. Make sure to also add some extra edges right here. And let's take a look. We actually need to make the cylinder smaller. Or we can make this bigger. No, I think this is fine. I think the cylinder needs to be smaller. Wireframe override. This part up here we are fine. But we got some problems with this. It's alright, we will fix it. Yeah, let's deselect this part down here for now. And make this a little bit bigger to match our cylinder. And now I will separately select this and put it right there. All right. And we got this done. Now what we also can do is that we can go right here and apply an edit poly on this. Actually, before this, make sure to add one extra edge right here on the end because we need our symmetry to work well. And I will go right here, I will apply an edit poly. Bring it. Actually, here is fine. Let's chamfer it. Right there, and we will create a small shadow gap. Just make sure to chamfer it. Actually, maybe this is too big, but it's okay. Now, and after that, because we are almost finished, we got a few more things to do. And after that, we will be doing a breakdown of the 3D scene you saw on the beginning. I will show you what I mean in just a moment. Inside the 3D Modeling Masterclass. So let's take a look. Come on, right here. All right. Yeah, we also have some issues with the chamfering here. I don't know what went wrong, but whatever. We can fix this. We can fix this by chamfering this. Have it on the same spot right here. And then you can just, I will try not to spend too much time on this. Then you can just go right here and hit target and connect everything together. But to do this, you need to remove this part right here, and you can connect it like that. And I won't be taking the time to do the same thing on the other stuff, but that's how you fix it. And yeah, basically now that we have done this, we can just we can just select everything right here and attach everything together. Don't worry about the materials because you can set the material ID you like. I will show you how in a moment. So we will make everything one geometry. Here we go. Now, if you got any questions until this point, feel free to write it because I will be reading some of those in a moment. And once we have done that, we can just apply a symmetry modifier. I think now it's the best time to take a look on what's going on with this reference. So if we can match it. Yeah, here we have some. Yeah, I think this is wrong. So let's go on this part, which I think it's the right one. Yeah, here we go, and apply an edit poly. I select the line the symmetry modifier created, and I will backspace and delete it. All right, and I think we have to do one more thing, which is to create these screws right here. So I will select this and I will hit hide unselected. So I will only keep this. So yeah, right now we got to create these screws. Let's create one to see how we can make them. I think that the best way to do this is to do the following thing, is to go right here, create a circle, or you can even go right here and take one of these, but I will actually take a circle, but it appears like that because I have this option on. Yeah, let's reduce the radius and I don't want much steps. I think this is all right. I will apply an edit poly. Once again, if you got any questions, feel free to ask them. I will connect these two. I will inset this. I will chamfer this part. Zero 5 maybe, or 0.9. All right, and I will extrude this to the inside. Just like that. And I can also go select by angle and select all of these, but actually I want to just select this one. And yeah, basically I want to select everything besides this part right here. And I will inset it once again. Zero, 5. Fix this, go to viewport clipping. Maybe 0, 1. No, too low. 0, 2. Let's see if we can do this for better. 0, 5. All right. And maybe we can now. Yeah, we need to add a few extra edges on that. But let's see where it's the best place to put them. Let's select all of that right here. Delete it. Take that. Scale it. Hold down Shift to create some extra geometry. And of course, you can just go and apply as verify modifier. Yeah, but let's see what we do with Turbo Smooth. Now it looks like I got stuck on this part. Hassan says, are we going to get into UV and texturing or only modeling during this webinar? Yeah, we will do some unwrapping just after I finish with this part right here, which really I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong, but yeah, basically I want to get rid of this part right here. And currently I can't figure this out. So let's just keep it as it is, which is horrible, right? But I will upload a video on how to do this because right now I can't figure it out. Or maybe if we no. No, we can't do this. Yeah, let's just leave it for now, but I will come back with it. Let's, yeah, we need to unhide everything. Wrong object. Hide all right here. Yeah. And that was the basis of our sunbed. But we also need to make these pillows. Now let's create one of the pillows right here. As you can see here, we have some inconsistencies with the reference, but that's all right. Nothing that you can fix later with a few modifications. Of course, it would be better if we just have made this right from the beginning. But in my hurry to make this webinar as short as possible, I made a few mistakes. So yeah, I will apply an edit poly for this. Maybe create some extra edges. Oops. Yep. Maybe create some extra edges like that. And like that. I will also do the following thing. I will apply a chamfer. Now, of course, there are better ways to do the pillows, right? But I want to keep this simple. For example, you can go and create them on Marvelous Designer, which would be much more efficient, by the way. But if you don't know Marvelous Designer, or if you don't have the software, this is another way to do this. So I will go right here and I will chamfer these selections right there. Smooth chamfers only. Make them a bit bigger right here. And I will select all of that. Let's isolate this. And after we selected everything, we can just extrude this to the inside, local normals. Somewhere around here. You can put some extra edge if you want, but I don't think it will work well in my case. So I will apply a turbo smooth to see what I need to fix. Of course, we need to fix the corners. Swift loop will solve that. Make sure to make it on the same size with this, around here. Here. Right. And we need to also fix this. Make sure to make it the same size with this. And let's take a look. Yeah. And we can, of course, just go right here and select these and give them some push to make it more pillow-like, I guess you can call it. Yeah, maybe do the same thing here. Apply turbo smooth, and that's how you create your pillows. And yeah, and we do the same thing for the back of our sunbed. And then there is unwrapping. Now I won't be unwrapping all of this because that would be like another half an hour of unwrapping. But I will show you how you can unwrap a few of these things so you can unwrap the rest of them on your own. Now this is pretty simple. I will keep the turbo smooth and I will apply an unwrap modifier. Right here you can see that we have some extra seams or lead, which are terrible. Now, if you don't know what these are, I will explain them in a second. Now, to get rid of those, you have to put a UVW mapping clear modifier, hit collapse all, yeah, make this an edit poly, UV unwrap, let's isolate this, and here we have a few selections like we have on the edit poly. And we will take this and we will put some seams where we are not supposed to be able to see. Now, if I had extruded this a bit more and I have created these edges to be a bit more tight together, this won't be that visible, but it's all right. So I will click on all of that. Just like that. Double click, same thing. And the last one. And now you can just go down here and hit convert edge selection to seams, and they will become blue. And if I open the UV editor, now allow me to drink one sip of water. Right here, and select everything, and I hit on peel mode, it will peel everything. Now, to be sure that everything was unwrapped correctly, and your texture will look correct on this, what you need to do is that you need to go right here on the default shading, and right here you can check on the checker pattern. If these squares are actually squares and they don't look like that, for example, then your mesh is correctly unwrapped. Then you can just custom pack this and collapse all, and your pillow is actually unwrapped. Now let's see how we can do maybe which else? What else would you like me to unwrap right here? Because we won't be unwrapping everything. We would be unwrapping a few things. So let me know what you want to see to be unwrapped. Now another thing we can unwrap here would be these cylinders. But I will actually go to unwrap this part because I think this is more interesting. So I will detach this for now. But yeah, I think it got detached as clone. So let's redo this. Detach like this. I will isolate this. I will apply an unwrap modifier. We don't have any extra edge except from this. So let's apply a mapping clear. Collapse all, yep. So we need to apply an unwrap modifier right here. And one seam can be right this, like this, sorry. Another one could be this one. And maybe what else we can do here? Yeah, we can take this, create this seam right there, and this seam right there. All right, and I will turn this into an edge selection, just like that. Yeah, and now we need to do this part up here, and basically you can just, let's say, create this. Now this might look a little bit confusing to you, but once you get used to it, it's alright. Michael says, please unwrap the wood with different angles. I'm not sure what you mean with by saying different angles, but we will check it. Yeah, I will select, let's say, this part, expand selection, and I will hit this. And as you can see right here, if we go on default shading and go for the checker pattern, we make this bigger, we can check if everything is unwrapped correctly. So let's turn this off. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, it looks nice. So what you have to do here is to just rotate them on this point to be on the same direction and pack them. We also have to do this, but there's no reason. We already did this. It's the same thing. You can actually just use a symmetry modifier again. And yeah, and now if you are wondering what we will do about all these same options, all these same materials we have, because we have one object, what you can do is that you can just go on the select element, select, let's say, the steel elements, the iron, right? And set them on a different material ID. Like here, you can go and set the iron to be 2, for example. And if you go on the material editor and create a general multi-sub-object material, these are the material IDs. And if you connect this with your iron material, this will only apply to this part, and so on. Now, with those curved edges, I think you mean you want us to unwrap this part? Okay, let's do this. Yeah, let's isolate this. Actually, let's detach it. Okay, to make everything look easier. Isolate, and right here you can see that we made a mistake, which we can fix by maybe applying a smooth modifier. Yeah, but whatever. So yeah, let's do this. Unwrap. Do we have any extra edges? Yeah, we got one there, but we don't care because that's not what we will be unwrapping. We want to unwrap this part. So what I will do is that I will select everything that's about this stuff. Maybe also, oops, also turn on the ignore back facing. And I will open the UV editor. And now let me show you a trick. You can just go on mapping, flatten mapping, and 45 might work well, and hit OK. And then you can just take this and, for example, you want this to connect with this part. So what you will do is that you're going to take this, come on, take this, bring it right there, and if you select this part, you can select stitch to average, and it will be stitched together, just like that. And then you can just select this and go right here, hold down the left click, go to relax options and relax the bit. And as you can see right here, everything is nicely unwrapped. Everything, I mean, this part we worked on. You need to do the same thing with this one and so on. But that was the way. I hope this helped, Michael. Yeah, and that was it with the unwrapping. You can do the same thing with all the rest. And actually, I was supposed to do a webinar right after this webinar inside the 3D Modeling Masterclass on messmastery.com. But because this already have taken about 2 hours, I don't want to get bored or tired of this, so this will be moved within the next week. I will do the webinar within the next week, and this webinar will be about creating and making a breakdown of this 3D scene. Everything from animating this book. Now the water is not the best because I did not take it before I render it, but we will see how we can make also a better animation on the water. Also, you will have access, if you are a student inside the 3D Modeling Masterclass, you will have access on this scene, except from the materials, which are from polygon.com. We can't give you the materials, but we can give you a discount for polygon.com. We have an exclusive discount for their marketplace. And yeah, we will see how we can animate these plants. You will have access to this animated plant right here. And of course the model of the Sunbed. And this will happen inside 3D Modeling Masterclass, messmastery.com/masterclass, which is right here. So to make sure you won't miss this breakdown, you can enroll in the 3D Modeling Masterclass. Also make sure to use the code webinar30. We have a discount for now for everyone who attended the webinar. And yeah, inside the 3D Modeling Masterclass, we will do a breakdown of this scene. Everything from lighting to animation. And yeah, pretty much everything. You will also get access to all the lesson files. So it would be nice to see it. Yeah, that would be the scene. And I will see you inside the webinar of the 3D Modeling Masterclass coming inside this week. So once again, thank you for watching. I really enjoyed this. If you want to join the 3D Modeling Masterclass, where we break down a lot of more 3D models, much more complex, you will learn a lot of stuff, you can join on messmastery.com/masterclass. And yeah, if you want to just follow through what we did today, in the description you will find the necessary files. And yeah, see you inside this week if you are a student of the 3D Modeling Masterclass, or if you would like to join. If you like to join, make sure to use the code webinar30 for 30% off. Yeah, and that was it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.